Hi everyone, yes, I am going to do some paper marbling, but I am just testing out my size at the moment. Um, as you can see, what you see here is a fluid that when you put it on when you put the paint on, they call it size. And you can make it with a couple of ingredients, which I will discuss in a later video. Right at the moment, I'm just testing, seeing what happens with the paint, because it's still a little warm. Because I was mixing it up with warm water just to speed up the that it's good to go. But as you can see here, I'm dropping paint on the surface. And it's kind of nice to look at, just, see what it does. And in a bit, I'll put some paper on and just show you what it does. And get another color in here. See how pretty that is, how those cells form? That is kind of nice. I think I have too much oxygal in the paint because it's spreading like crazy, but okay. Let's see, do we have another color? Yes, we do. We have some white. Let's see how white performs on this. That's kind of nice. But I'll talk you through the whole process and the things that you have to watch out for in a bit. Just put this one away. Got to find all these places for the brushes, because every single color needs a different brush. That's important. And as you can see now, the turquoise, you're starting to see it better now. And that's the build-up. You have to build up these colors, because the first time you put some in this on the size, it will just disappear because there's so much surface to cover. So you'll see it disappearing. But now you're seeing, because I'm keep adding different colors, it's going to be pushed together, and that's why you're seeing what you're seeing at the moment. This is a little too thick though, the turquoise. But okay, I'll show you in very fast way. See, then the only thing you do is you pick up your paper opposite corners, and you make it fold a little, and then you place it on there. And you just let it soak up a bit, and then you take it off. Let's see if I got something to take it off. No, I don't. I'll have to do it with my hand. And there it is on the paper. See that? Now, this is just a test run, because you have to have a couple of things perfect. And that is your size, your paint, your mixture. You gotta all have that perfect. So I'm gonna take this one and put it away, and then I'm gonna clean. But it is kind of pretty. You know, if you were to do a couple to wrap some presents, something like that, you have something so awesome, so unique. No one has something like this. It's kind of pretty. Now, when you have this and you're not going to use it anymore, I could just come back in with paint and make a new pattern with this in it, but sometimes you don't want to do that. And then all you have to do is have some old newspapers, and you can clean it, and I'll get some. And this is just a piece of old newspaper. There we go. And just put it down there. It'll soak up all the paint. That's number one. I'll do it on white because I'm pretty sure you want to see what happens. I'm just pulling it and putting it down. Same up here, putting it down. There we go. Now this isn't this isn't much, but you know, who knows? Sometimes you can get one or two really pretty pieces from the waste, and that's kind of nice. It's kind of pretty. And this one, ooh, this one is pretty. I like that. See that? And you could use this for collages or something that you could paint. You could stick it on the canvas, then paint around it, and then varnish it, and it would be totally cool. Okay, one more. Oops, there goes my brush. And I still feel, because my fingers are in this stuff, it's still a little bit too warm. And you don't want really warm size because it manipulates your paint in a way that you may not like. You know, it gets jaggedy edged and all that kind of stuff. Let's see if we can get that one out. Yeah, that's okay. Okay, we're all ready to start again. What you do want to do is get rid of all the air bubbles, because that will get mixed in with your patterns, and that's not pretty. Because where the air bubbles is, if you put like a piece of paper on it, it will be a blank spot, a blank circle, and you don't want that. So, okay, let's get talking about what this is. Now, what I'm using right here is really cheap. This is wallpaper paste from Bison. I'm sure half the world has it. And I'm sure you can buy it everywhere. It's just, you know, wallpaper paste. But it says here for normal to heavy wallpaper. So you gotta see if you can find that. Now, if you can't find Bison, what you want to find is the word, it's so in Dutch here, it's cellulose. Let's see if I can get you in close. Let me get you in focus. There you are. And as you can see, it says wallpaper paste, basis of high quality cellulose. So that's what you want to find. Now, the easiest way to do this, if you want to do it really quick, this is really fast. You put it in a measuring jug, you know, just one of these, and you put warm water in it, and it's about, you know, just warm enough that you can put your hands in it and it's not too hot. Then you put a couple of spoonfuls of that wallpaper paste in there, and you just let it sit for about, well, you have to stir a lot, you know, you don't want those little bumps in there. But then you let it sit there for half an hour, just, you know, thickening up. And here you can see there's still some in there. See how thick it was? So then when it's totally dissolved and you don't see any little pieces of that stuff, then you throw it in a tray. This is a really big tray. I had one made because, well, a couple of years ago I did a lot of paper marbling. So, but you can also use a serving tray. You have some of those white plastic serving trays where there is like something like that around it, you know, one of those rims. As long as it can keep some fluid, it's okay. Now, the bigger you go, the more you can manipulate your pattern. If you're going to do an A4 size paper, the thing is that you don't want an A4 size tray, because you want some stuff to move around. So this is all it is. So it's wallpaper, paper, and water, and it's not special water. I just run it out of the tap, and my water is pretty heavy, and sometimes, you know, they say it's not good to do that, but I don't care, it works. So let's start off again. And I'm starting off with white, which you will not see because, you know, like I said in the beginning, there's so much surface for this stuff that you won't see it until I have enough on there that it gets pushed together. Now that's the white one. Now we're going to go back and do some turquoise. And all you do is tap like that, tap your brush above the tray. Now getting some more. And you don't want to put too much in, because if you put a big drop in, it will sink to the bottom, and you don't want that. So that's why we're tapping it like this. And as you can see, all those little drops, they hit the surface and they spread out. And while I'm doing this, you will see this color intensify because I'm putting so much color on the surface. So then it has no place to go, and then all of a sudden you see it sort of, the color appearing a little better. So that's a lot of white we got in there, a lot of turquoise. Now I'm going to go back to the brown. See those big, nice big spots? And I know it's nice to look at, and why it's doing this is because this paint is transparent, and there's a little bit too much oxgall in there, so then it makes it spread even more. Now I'm gonna mix up a color so you can see how I mix it. Now for this this type of painting, the best thing you can use is fluid acrylics, and you only need a little bit of fluid acrylic. Then we get the oxgall. See that? That's oxgall. And you really have to have oxgall, because that's it. You have to have it. I'm going to put 4 drops in there, putting the bottle down, getting a new brush. And if you're going to start with this type of art, a good thing to do is get a lot of those cheap brushes, because every single color you will need a different brush. You can't use the same brush with all the colors. Okay. Now when you're mixing it, it should almost be like water. That's how thin. And then you can just test it. See that? It doesn't sink to the bottom. But it's not perfect yet, because I can see that some of these hairlines, they're sort of going zigzaggy. They shouldn't be doing that. So what you can do is put more paint in, or maybe you just like it like that, who knows? Who am I to say what's beautiful, right? So putting in this one, putting that away. Then I'm gonna come in with some more turquoise. A lot of turquoise. And as you can see it pushing it all together, now all of a sudden you can see the brown, because it's has no place to go, so that's when it starts to show up. Now I'm going to take the other one again. Now, as for paper, what I'm using today, I'm going to put a lot of this on because I want to make something a little different. Now, this is going to be cool right here. Now, this also has a name. You know, when you're putting a lot of that paint on with a lot of oxygal, you can make those veins, and that's kind of cool. Now, this is normal printer paper. I didn't put anything on it. I'm going to look what I think is pretty. I think this is kind of pretty, but maybe just wait a minute. I got the paper in my mouth, that's why I can't talk. Just a itty bitty more. And normally you can go really far with this. You can, you know, keep on doing paint until it's totally covered and you're getting more of a deeper color. You know, the quicker you start picking it up with paper, then it'll be really sort of faded out, but the more paint you put on the surface, the more it's going to be like what you see is what you get. So one more of the brown. Ooh, I contaminated it a little bit. That's about it. Yep. Okay. Now I want to take out this bit here, I think. So we're going to place it on there and let it soak up for a bit. But if you think this is pretty too, then all you have to do is put another paper on the surface and you can take that off also. So I'm going to take this one and this one, and maybe that one. It won't cover it all, but for the purpose of collage, it doesn't really matter. So we're gonna take it off, and there we have it. Look at that, how pretty it is. Wait a minute, I'm gonna get you up close. Now, if you're having trouble making cells with the with the acrylic paint, you can get cells like this, no problem at all. And we'll take the other one off. Here's some more blue. There it is. That's kind of nice. I don't know why it's flickering like this, but I'll fix that in a bit. So this one, and there's a lot of different things you can do with it. And this one. But it just picks right up. All you have to do is, you know, sort of do it with a shower. I clean off a little bit of that size that is stuck to the paper, and that way you have a clean sheet of paper. I iron them flat, and then you can do anything you want with them. That's it. Okay, now, as you can see, it's all mucked up again. So the only thing you have to do is get some paper. Doesn't matter what paper. You can use any paper that you're gonna throw away anyway, and just drag it through. See that? That's my old sponsor list, so nothing goes to waste. And just pick it up. But usually they do it with newspaper. That's it. One more and it will be totally clean. That's how easy it is. So now we have a clean size thing again, and I'm going to stop this video because this is really the basics, and I'm gonna mix up some colors, and I'll be right back, and we're gonna pour something with a little bit darker colors in it. And of course, I'm gonna be looking for my ink because I want to do some suminagashi or something like that. Oh, half of the stuff I do I can't even pronounce, but that's okay. It's the Japanese. What I was showing is sort of marbling, and I will take it to the next level in the next video where I show you how you can comb it and do other things with it. And I'm going to do the Japanese marbling where they use only black, and that is awesome because you get some really pretty patterns. But I'll be right back, so see you in a bit. Love you all to pieces.